Can you describe Moishe Oysher?
Probably not, because he was just about as indescribable as a person can be. I mean, he was a hugely theatrical personality. He and my father could both sing at the drop of a hat. They never stopped singing, in fact. They would be humming their way through life, I think. My father never, so I drive my wife crazy because I do the same thing. I'm always humming or singing or doing something, and my father did the same thing. And when Moishe was around, they both were singing all the time. He was very frank. He was never politically correct, even though that phrase didn't exist at the time. And very theatrical, and very warm, and fiercely loyal to anybody, and also could get very angry too. Now, as you probably know, he died young. I mean, he was not 60, I don't think, yet when he died. I remember when Uncle Moishe died. I mean, my father was, everybody was just heartbroken. It was, I guess, a heart attack, all of a sudden. And we were all we had, in a way, grown a little apart even before that, because he moved to the suburbs somewhere in New Jersey. And we couldn't understand how anybody could, well, we were still living in the Bronx. And Uncle Moishe moved to Teaneck or someplace like that. He'd married, it was his second marriage, his first marriage. I never knew her, but I remember she was an actress. His second marriage, her name was Teddy, wasn't? But we went to visit Uncle Moishe in his new house in New Jersey. I suppose I was about 10, maybe 9 or 10. And I went to the bathroom. I remember that my uncle Sammy, who was unmarried at the time, my mother's brother, was with us, my father and my mother and my sister. And I went to the bathroom to Uncle Moishe's house. I had never seen a tank toilet before, because we lived in an apartment building, and we had, you know, a pressure with a valve. And I couldn't imagine what was going on inside that porcelain box. You flushed it, no. So I flushed it again, and I heard all this interesting stuff, so I decided I would look inside to see what was going on in there. Well, these things are very heavy, the tops of it, and I lifted it up, it slid off and crashed on the floor, on the tile floor, into like 5 or 6 pieces. Well, if the fear wasn't the word for it. I mean, it was terror. I mean, because Uncle Moishe I knew he wouldn't be angry, but I knew there would be something terribly embarrassing or humiliating that I would have to go through. I came and I didn't dare tell my father what had happened, so I went to my uncle, Sammy, who was a young man, you know, at the time, and kind of like, you know, more accessible in some way. And I asked him to come and look in the bathroom to see what I had done. And he took the blame for it. He came out and said, "I've done a terrible thing in the bathroom. I kicked it." Everybody knew, of course, that it wasn't the case, but he got me off the hook. Now, what happened to that tank top thing, I never know. But I remember that was the one time that Uncle Moishe didn't get angry.